In a time after a big disaster wrecked the world, the oceans rose because of really fast climate changes. That made most places on Earth not good for living anymore. Some smart people, scientists, went to space to try and fix things. They spent a long time there working hard and made 80 big safe places in space around the Earth and the Moon. After that, almost everyone, about 90%, moved to these safe spots. But some, about 10%, said no and wanted to stay on Earth. At the start, everything was okay, peaceful. But later, some folks in a few of these safe places got really extreme. They made a group called the Adrian Republic. They started attacking the other safe places. They wanted all the power and didn't care who they hurt to get it. Thankfully, the rest of the people joined together to make a big team called the Allied Force. That started a really long and really tough fight that went on for many years. In the opening scene, we meet Captain Jung E, a courageous warrior fighting for the Allied forces. She's led her team through many tough battles against the Adrian Republic, showing incredible strength. During one intense fight against enemy mechanoids, she's hit and her hand is damaged, revealing something shocking. She's not human, but a robot. Even Captain Yun is stunned, unaware of her true identity. Suddenly she powers down, and it turns out it was all part of a virtual training session. The truth slowly unravels. Captain Yun isn't a person, but an AI version of herself. She's been in a coma for 35 long years. Her fatal injuries from a past battle led to this state. Because she was the best fighter the Allies had, they're trying to revive her using this advanced AI technology. A team of scientists from Chronoid, a tech company, approached the robotic figure to conduct diagnostics. Among them is Dr. Yoon Seo-hyun, leading a project known as Jung E. What makes this significant is that she's Captain Yoon's daughter. Her primary goal is to honor her mother's legacy as a hero of war, rather than a figure of defeat. To achieve this, she and other Chronoid researchers have been working on replicating Captain Yoon's brain data and integrating it into android bodies, a project they call Jung E. In a meeting led by Chronoid director Kim Sang-hoon, it's revealed that their focus has been on a simulation of Captain Yoon's final, unsuccessful mission. They've been attempting to extract combat-related memories from these simulations, aiming to develop an extraordinary AI using this data. Despite numerous simulations, the robot consistently faces failure for reasons yet unknown. The dissatisfaction among the higher-ups is palpable, with snarky remarks suggesting Captain Yoon could have ended the decade-long conflict between the Adrian Republic and the Allied forces if she had succeeded in her last mission. Post-meeting, Director Kim shares with Seo-hyun that the project has received conditional approval, contingent on the AI passing a crucial simulation test. Kim takes on the role of a humorous sidekick, unwavering in his support for the Jung E project. In a lighter moment, a new staff member named Jae Kyung engages in a conversation with Seo-hyun after conducting diagnostics on an android. He expresses his admiration for Captain Yun, considering her a superhero. In a personal revelation, Seo-hyun discloses that her mother's journey into mercenary life was driven by the need to fund Seo-hyun's childhood cancer treatments. The surgery, a success, marked a critical day for both of them. Unfortunately, on that very day, Captain Yoon was called for a mission that turned out to be her final one. The mission left her in a critical condition, leading to her eventual coma. In the present, after completing her work, Seo-hyun heads for her ethics test, a mandatory requirement for all Chronoid employees designed to distinguish between robots and humans. As she makes her way, memories flood back, particularly the poignant recollection of the last time she saw her mother. Their farewell included a warm hug and the tender gesture of rubbing each other's cheeks. Seo-hyun's routine checkup takes an unexpected turn when the X-ray results reveal the devastating news. Her childhood cancer has returned, leaving her with only 3 months to live. The doctor discusses her options, advising that the best course of action would be to copy and transfer her brain data to a prosthetic body. He outlines 3 categories of prosthetic bodies. The Type A option is the most expensive, but grants Seo-hyun equal human rights recognized by the government. Alternatively, the more affordable Type B prosthetic body comes with a catch. The government gains access to her brain data, and certain fundamental human rights like marriage, freedom of movement, and adoption are restricted. The last option, Type C, provided by the government for free, comes with its own set of compromises. Companies are permitted to utilize her brain data, creating clones for their purposes. In a poignant moment, Seo-hyun requests to visit her mother, only to discover that the doctor she's been consulting is also an android. The scene transitions to a flashback from Seo-hyun's childhood. She recalls discovering that her mother survived the critical mission but remained in a coma. The Chronoid team visits Seo-hyun and her grandmother, negotiating to cover Seo Hyun's education and living expenses in exchange for transforming Captain Yoon's body into a Type C prosthetic body. Eventually, Seo Hyun's grandmother reluctantly agrees to the condition. Back in the present, Seo Hyun visits her mother, witnessing her aged and wrinkled form still locked in a coma. Meanwhile, at Chronoid, AI model number 18 is activated and prepped for simulation. Director Kim proposes a different approach this time, instructing the researchers to shoot the android in the leg. As the simulation kicks off, the android struggles against the enemy robots, getting overpowered pretty quickly. Just when they're about to wrap it up, a whole new part of the robot's brain lights up, glowing yellow. Suddenly, Jung E fights back fiercely, surprising everyone, especially Kim, who's thrilled by this breakthrough. Excited about the progress, the team heads to Chronoid's main headquarters the next day to share the news with the company chairman. But when they arrive, a new manager from the product development division intercepts them, saying the chairman isn't available. Kim gets mad, wondering why a military-focused company needs a product department. The manager, not bothered by Kim's anger, laughs it off before leaving. Returning to the Chronoid lab after the unsuccessful visit, the Jung E team finds the newly crafted brains ready for simulation. Inside, a staff member signals Kim about the chairman's waiting in his office. However, as they enter, a stunning twist occurs. Kim suddenly powers down. It's revealed that he's the initial prototype created by the chairman himself. Meanwhile, Seo Hyun shares their groundbreaking progress with the chairman, hoping for approval. But instead of being impressed, the chairman announces the initiation of a peace treaty between the Adrian Republic and the Allied forces, signaling the imminent end of the civil war. With no further need for combat AI, the manager orders Seo Hyun to stop the Jung E project. However, the amassed data from the AI will find new use in household tasks, ensuring the efforts aren't wasted. In a heart-wrenching revelation, the chairman discloses his intention to dismantle Kim once all is resolved. This deeply saddens Seo Hyun, who had devoted nearly her entire life to reviving her mother. The story progresses with the group persisting in the Jung E project to give it a proper conclusion. However, during the simulations, Director Kim grows increasingly frustrated as the AI continues to fail at the same time and place. He insists on cutting off an arm to activate the crucial part of the brain, but it doesn't work. Remembering that shooting the AI in the leg had triggered a breakthrough before, Kim resorts to extreme measures. He storms into the laboratory and opens fire on the AI, causing her distressing screams of pain. Seo Hyun, horrified by the sight, reaches a breaking point. Unable to bear it any longer, she takes control of the situation and shuts down the AI. Refusing to reactivate the AI, Seo Hyun faces the wrath of an enraged Kim, who brandishes a gun threateningly at her. A tense confrontation ensues, escalating dangerously. Their conflict, however, is abruptly halted by a staff member who informs Kim of the chairman's waiting. The interruption serves as a temporary reprieve. After this intense encounter, Seo Hyun learns that one of the Jung E AIs has gone missing, taken by the new employee Jae Kyung. In haste, she rushes to his room, only to find the AI completely dismantled. Shocked, she covers her mother's robotic body and confronts Jae Kyung. Gasping for air, he reveals that he received orders from headquarters to test the intimate capabilities of the Jung E models, potentially making significant profits. Seo Hyun, furious, attempts to choke Jae Kyung. However, a realization hits her. Her mother's brain is of Type C, available for any company or product. This revelation leaves her disheartened amid the chaos. In a chance encounter, Seo Hyun meets Director Kim, both sharing disappointment over the end of the Jung E project. Before leaving, Kim informs her about one final simulation test granted to the team. He emphasizes that failure will render all their efforts futile. In the subsequent scene, Seo Hyun enters the AI lab and activates a previously damaged Jung E model, resulting in critical damage to herself. Termination seems the most viable option. The AI also acknowledges her fate, preparing for deactivation. However, just before Seo Hyun can shut it down, something unexpected occurs. The yellow part of the brain activates, and the AI, surprisingly, inquires about her daughter. Suddenly exhibiting human-like emotions, the AI recalls memories of seeing her daughter before heading into battle. This revelation brings tears to Seo Hyun's eyes, as she shares that her daughter's surgery was successful, and she's now in remission from cancer. The AI expresses immense relief and recollects Seo Hyun gifting her a doll just before the surgery, a touching memory from their past. Seo Hyun, deeply upset by losing the doll, connects the dots and realizes that all the Jung E AIs had failed in simulations due to the distraction caused by the doll. Later, she deactivates the robot and engages in an emotional conversation, feeling a profound connection to her mother through this near-perfect brain clone. The following day, before the simulation, Seo-hyun takes charge and sets up the Jung E AI by herself. Once alone in the room, she makes a significant discovery. The yellow part of the AI's brain is actually the memory of her daughter. This revelation clarifies why the AI had been failing in the challenges. Understanding the root cause, Seo-hyun takes a drastic step. Knowing that this memory of her daughter was the reason behind the AI's struggles, she makes the tough decision to delete it permanently, resolving the issue at its core. As the final test commences, a sense of disappointment hangs heavy among the team. As predicted, the AI gets targeted and falls to the ground after being shot, marking another failed simulation. Once the test concludes, Jae-kyung notices an anomaly in this specific AI test result, but Kim disregards his observation, leaving the room dissatisfied, trailed by Seo-hyun. However, suspicions linger in Kim's mind, compelling him to return to the lab for a double check. To his astonishment, it's revealed that the Jung E model hadn't actually been shot. Instead, it had staged its shutdown, feigning deactivation. Kim reacts swiftly, locking down the area and triggering an emergency protocol. Meanwhile, guards escorting the Jung E AI back to her chamber are puzzled by the sudden alarm. Seizing the opportunity, the AI swiftly disarms them and makes a daring escape during the chaos of the emergency lockdown. In response to the escape of Jung E, Kim activates all combat AI prototypes to track and eliminate her. Meanwhile, Seo-hyun takes drastic action by deleting all of her mother's brain data, ensuring it can never be cloned again. In a tense turn of events, Jung E enters a room filled with her clones, caught off guard by their presence. The antagonists arrive, attempting to subdue her, but the formidable AI based on Captain Yun proves too powerful. As the combat AIs continue to pour in, Seo-hyun rushes to aid her mother. In a cunning move, she transfers her own brain into one of the newer combat AI models, deceiving everyone. The mother and daughter duo make their escape aboard a futuristic Skyrail train, but Kim is relentless in his pursuit. In a heated confrontation, he injures Seo-hyun by shooting her in the shoulder. Fueled by rage, Jung E battles Kim fiercely, ultimately shooting him in the eye, a moment that triggers a shocking realization. Kim himself is revealed to be an AI. In a desperate struggle, the intense battle escalates as the AI police join the fray, making the situation seem dire. Yet, when Jung E notices her wounded daughter trembling on the floor, a fierce determination takes hold. Transforming into a ruthless fighter, she confronts each adversary with relentless precision. Eventually, Kim is thrown from the train, and one by one, the other robots meet their defeat. Afterward, Jung E rushes to aid Seo-hyun, but her daughter implores her to escape as police sirens approach. Tearfully, Seo-hyun insists that the AI is now free and urges her to flee and live her life on her terms. Reluctantly agreeing, Jung E embraces her daughter one last time, sharing a tender moment of cheek-rubbing reminiscent of their past. In a touching revelation, it becomes clear that the AI has retained the memory and identity of Captain Yoon Jung-yi. Seo-hyun addresses the AI as mother, bidding her farewell and wishing her luck before she escapes. The movie concludes with Seo-hyun succumbing to her injuries while the AI, now embracing the vastness of a mountainous landscape, gazes out, contemplating the horizon.